Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Travel to Hashirama's Time. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also stay in tune for a new episode of What If Naruto was the greatest puppeteer over an Anime King. And on this channel, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto Got His Memories sealed away, so stay tuned for that as well guys. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was trained by all the greats at a young age. So go over Anime King and check out that later on guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice and you enjoyed the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Naruto had just defeated Pain, as Danzo, wanting to become a tool for the village, and also, he's gonna turn Sasuke into a permanent criminal, and Naruto wouldn't stand for that. Naruto had a piece of the First Hokage necklace in his pocket, because it broke when he transformed, so he had the pieces in his pocket. He saw a strange wooden cylinder, as it looked, he didn't know what exactly it was. As he reached for it, he saw the root agents looking at him, so he placed it inside his pocket. Suddenly, he felt like his consciousness was pulled down before he was knocked unconscious. As we escaped to their time period, as Hashirama was confused when he saw something drop from the sky. As he pulled the thing out of the water, it was a person. As Madara arrived to see him, as they were confused who this person was. Naruto had senses what was going on around him, but his body was unable to move and he was unable to talk or do anything. So he really hated it, as he could now understand a bit who the fox feel inside of him. This was really bad. As the two ninjas, different from anyone in this time period, decided to help this person. Not even know if he was an enemy or anything, they still decided to help him. If he was anyone else, he would have been dead a long time ago. So time passed as months. Months passed. We got introduced to Mito as Hashirama's father. The two of them are going to get married, Mito and Hashirama, as Mito was from the Uzumaki clan. Hashirama didn't mind that because she was a beautiful girl, and also, it was his duty as a clan heir, as Mito was a nice girl as well, as we saw his brother Tobirama as well. As he went on a mission, week passed. Naruto finally gained some senses as he opened his eyes. As he spoke to them about Konoha, they had no idea what he was talking about. As he passed out once again, he was able to enter his mindscape as he spoke to the fox. The fox was more willing to talk to him now, still pissed off about what happened when Minato re-sealed him back. As the fox told that he time traveled back in the past, and the fox told not to die and leave him here. As Naruto was surprised by that, it sounded so genuine. So he spoke to Hashirama and Madara as time went by, as he regained his strength. As they believed him after a while when they heard everything, as he told them about their future self. Well, there was a lot of things that Naruto was going to change, so he can fix the future so that people like Nagato would not be born. People, like with that kind of hatred. He wanted Nagato to live a good life. He also heard about a war in Kiri. He can stop all of that here and now. So he was going to tell the two of them about the future. And using their help and him combined, they were going to fix the future. But messing with the past is a really dangerous thing. But still, Naruto is regaining his strength, as he wants to be back up fully, so he can talk to him fully as he starts to tell Hashirama about his Mokiton, the wood style. As Hashirama started to think about it, mixing earth and water together, creating a new substance, Mokiton. As he started to think about it, as Naruto was hell-bent on getting back to his feet, as he started to move even more, getting even stronger, his body finally recuperating after that strange trip here. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the plate and check it out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Madara landed near his compound after leaving Naruto at the cave. As he took his time and made his way towards the gates, he enjoyed his time far more outside the compound than he enjoyed his time in it. It was the hope of him being exceptional that did that to him. It was one thing to be brilliant, and there was an entirely different thing of pleasing everyone around him. Only Izuna understand what he was going through, because his younger brother experienced it as well. As he looked for his younger brother, decided to spar with him. There was just something about two Sharingan users going at it. It was a fight in a whole different league than what he and Hashirama experienced, as he found him in one of the various training grounds surrounding the compound, as he was moving some of the Uchiha style of fighting, as Madara took a moment to watch him, as he took notes of his skills and weak areas of mistakes. "Brother," said Izuna as he turned. As the moment he said that, Madara dashed forward as he started to attack him. Izuna smiled as he went into defense. Izuna hasn't yet noticed their father thrown at them from the edge of the training ground, but Madara did. But he ignored the man. As for the Uchiha clan head himself, well, he wasn't happy. Madara has been disappearing a lot lately, and where he was going was a mystery to the man. The only reason why he hadn't investigated the matter yet was because Madara wasn't acting suspiciously, and his skill level was rising every time he disappeared, but he kept coming back right on time though. He still performed his missions at his level and skill, and nothing strange has happened since he started to disappear. Looking at him, it was easy to take his words because he was clearly growing in skill, because he told his father that he went out to train on his own. But he wasn't the clan head for nothing. Madara was hiding something, and he needed to find out what it was. But he knows the only way to do that is to use the one person that Madara would not react to, the one person he would not fight against, Izuna. He just hoped that his suspicions are wrong, because it would be the Uchiha's greatest loss if he was forced to execute the boy. It was for that reason alone he decided to wait before doing anything, for only a little while, before giving Izuna the order to follow Madara. Time skip. Hashirama walked into his brother's room to find him sharpening his katana. He grinned as he grabbed the katana and ran out the room. "Hashirama!" Tobirama yelled angrily. "What the hell are you doing?" "Come on, Tobi-kun, play with me." Hashirama laughed from a little down the corner. "We don't have time for playing," he said in irritation. Of all the days for his brother to begin one of his little games, "I have a mission in the morning." Hashirama stopped as he made his way over and gave back his brother the katana. "And Hashirama will be accompanying you. Debrief him and continue your preparation," Batsuma, their father, said as he walked to another meeting. As Hashirama sighed as he went to his brother's room so he can get debrief on this mission. In truth, these missions were a good thing. It meant they weren't fighting any other clan over some petty reason or something else. Well, unless they were hired to do so. Batsuma gaze looked to the side as he passed his oldest son, as his gaze lingered for just a bit. Tobirama had reported strange jumps in his brother's skills, but for outward appearances, Hashirama looked just the same as ever. However, Tobirama knew the older boy more than Batsuma did, so he took Tobirama's words to heart. What was he doing? Batsuma wondered. And Hashirama has been disappearing more and more into those woods, doing God knows what. He was thinking about sending his younger son after him to see exactly what he was doing out there. It was hard not to believe his skills were just rising too quickly, and a boy like himself couldn't just improve by himself like that. Batsuma knew this all too well. No matter, he'd wait for now. He wasn't exactly thrilled about the idea if his son was doing something wrong to execute him, so he would just wait for now. The possibility was always there, but he was just going to make sure that everything was just okay for now. So he wasn't going to send Tobirama yet. He was just going to keep on observing. Time skip. By the time Hashirama or Madara returned to the cave, Naruto was outside as he was balancing on one hand, doing push-ups. "Well, he sure recovered quickly," said Madara. Hashirama was not here yet, but Madara figured he would be here soon. "Aren't you worried about detection? I could have easily been an enemy, and I got close enough to kill you," Madara said. "Nah, I knew it was you. I can sense it," said Naruto as he did more push-ups. "Really? Are you a sensor type?" As Madara tilted his head to the side so he could watch the blonde's movements, it seems like he fully recovered. "I don't really know," said Naruto. "It was just something I picked up on once I was out. I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything, but I could sense everything around me. And I never lost it after I woke up. But I know I can sense anyone coming in a 50 feet radius. I can also sense the chakra of everything around me. Rocks have a surprising amount of it, considering that they're rocks." As he flipped and land on his feet. I heard the Uzumakis were good at scenting. Perhaps it's a latent ability that was awoken by certain circumstances, said Madara. Perhaps. Either way, I don't know if anyone is approaching, either you or Hashirama. So far no one does. I can also tell that the both of you live in opposite direction, but not so far from each other, considering that your clans are mortal enemies. Interesting that is, it's kind of a useless information for me, said Madara. So, how far have you recovered? Well, I'm not at 100, but I'm getting there really quickly now. At any rate, I can spar with you guys now. Oh, well then. Want to give it a go? Asked Madara, as he got into a Taijutsu stance. Naruto laughed, trying to get me while I'm down, huh Madara? I've been doing exercise all day. Come on, I'll go easy on you, said Madara, as Naruto went into his stance. Before the both of them dashed off, Madara was surprised. I see. You sparred with the Uchiha before, when they separated. Well, one of my teammates at Uchiha. You're more like him than you will ever admit. He likes to think that he's our original. Was he a good shinobi? Asked Madara. He just might be directly related to you. I'm starting to see some resemblance. He was also the second son of clan head. He was considered a prodigy, but not in the league as his older brother, who was considered the very best. I suppose you can say he was brilliant, but to him, it was never good enough for him, because he always compared himself to his older brother. His brother, what kind of Uchiha was he? Asked Madara. Naruto never said a word about what Itachi has done, and the fact that Aizuno was killed before Konoha was created, and he was going to tell them that either, especially Madara. Naruto never really found out what really happened on the Uchiha Massacre night, but he was sure that there was something else there. Another story about what happened to Aizuno as well. Not only that, he knew that Uchiha has fickle tempers. They can be set off by the easiest things. He didn't want to set off Madara's temper and cause everything to fall apart before it even started. He was a strange one, Naruto said. I never really met him, and every time I did, he confused the heck out of me. But he was insanely powerful, that was for sure. As he didn't encourage the conversation anymore, as he dashed towards Madara. Madara grinned as he returned the blow once again. Neither of them were going all out or anything like that. They were just testing each other in a moment. Time skip. Hashirama gripped his brother's armor as he crouched behind a large boulder. Tobirama was out cold, forcing Hashirama to protect them both. This mission was something they should not be sent on. They were in over their heads, completely. What the hell was his father thinking? Hashirama would thank Kami and every other deity that he knew if he could get him and his brother out of this mess alive. Where the hell did those brats go? One of the enemy shinobi's head. It was easy to hide Tobirama because he was knocked out. However, Hashirama tried very hard to keep his own chakra under wraps. I don't know, but find them and kill them, the other enemy said. Hashirama knew that he would have to fight sooner or later, but he didn't want to leave his younger brother's side for any moment notice. Wait, what the hell was that? Hashirama looked around the edge of the boulder, prayed that he wasn't spotted, only to see the two adult shinobi looking around. As he saw kunai came bristling down and embed itself right into one of the enemy's eye socket. He fell to the ground dead before he even hit the ground. The other ninja pulled out kunai and tossed him in the direction, but the unknown attacker had already moved. Looking at the worse for wear there, Hashirama, a familiar voice shocked in his ear. Madara? Hashirama felt like he was going to cry. Let me guess, you're after the same scroll as I am, said Madara with a frown. It wasn't uncommon for the Senju and the Uchihas for clash on missions. Probably, but this mission had a lot more adult shinobi than what our intelligence said it would. I managed to take all 5 of them without getting injured. As a result, I'm exhausted and Tobirama was knocked out. I only just managed to get us out of the line of fire, Hashirama said in a quiet tone as Madara nodded as he spoke. So this your brother, huh? Looks nothing like you, that for sure. But he also the same age as my brother, said Madara, studying the unconscious Senju. Are you alone? Asked Hashirama, finally realizing that this the conversation can get them killed and not by their enemy. Yes, same bad intelligence as you guys got, I suppose. Perhaps it was a setup, someone tried to get Uchihas and Senju to fight. Or they just trying to take a few down. Madara frowned as he thought it over. Well, it doesn't matter. We will complete this mission. I'll just copy the scroll of my Sharingan and that way, the both of us will have it. Mission complete. Madara said as Hashirama smiled gratefully. I saw Naruto the other day. He almost fully recovered. We sparred a little, said Madara. Alright then, I'll be right back. Since you did most of the work, I just have to play clean up. And with that, Madara vanished. Madara returned 10 minutes later as he tossed a scroll to Hashirama. I don't know about you, but I would just like to hang around here for at least a day or two. But I don't know when your brother's gonna wake up, and I don't think that he's in favor of a Uchiha. That being said, I'll see you around, Senju. As Madara gave him an arrogant smirk and a wave as he vanished once again. As Hashirama smiled. It wasn't that the adult shinobis were hard to kill. It was there was a lot of them, and he would have been shocked or exhausted when he killed all of them. And not to mention he had his brother to look out for. Hashirama tucked the scroll away and lifted his brother on his shoulder as he made his way back home. Time skip. Madara handed the scroll to his father that he copied, as he didn't say anything about the mission being too crowded by adult shinobis, or that there were senjus there, because his father would ask him why did he not kill them. This mission was completed in a really short amount of time, Madara, his father said. Someone already attempted it, so the forces guarding the scroll were scattered and depleted. I see. Well then I guess you can call it a lucky break on your part. Did his father expect something of him? Or knew something? He was not sure, but the man seemed to just be acting a bit strange. Time skip. A soft groan from his back made Hashirama came to a stop. You waking up there, Tobirama, said Hashirama. You jumped through the trees like an ass, you know that? Had to make sure you didn't get too comfortable there, brother. Don't need you pass out information we go on. What happened anyway? I thought we were going to die. I really did. Tobirama said rather confused after what he saw. We made it out of there with a scroll. What more need to be said to Hashirama with a small shrug? He didn't need Tobirama asking too many questions because that will lead to things that he didn't want Tobirama knew about yet. As he knew the boy was frowning but he didn't say anything, he just continued to jump, with Tobirama on his back, as he knew that he was still not 100% yet. If he was, he would be asking questions. He would probably ask them later though, as he was still a bit worried. He almost lost his third brother today. He had to train harder, he had to get stronger. There was nothing else for it. He refused to lose Tobirama as well. He also owed Madara a big one. But he couldn't tell his father anything about that though. He would even mention that he saw a Uchiha nearby. Time skip. Hashirama gazed at the rocky surface in front of him. He turned his gaze to the side and looked at two ninjas as he grinned at the both of them. Bet you both will be eating my dust, he said. You're totally on, said Naruto. Yeah, and this time you're not cheating, said Madara, as he glared at Senju. What? You mean playing dirty? Come on, Madara, we're all ninja here. Alright guys, let's go, said Naruto, as Naruto rushed up the side of the cliff. As they ran up the cliff, the three of them. For our next exercise, we should try this without chakra, Naruto yelled. The both of them groaned at the thought as they watched Naruto was ahead of them, but they grinned at the challenge. Time skip. No, like this, said Naruto, as he re-demonstrated a jutsu that he learned as a child. I still don't believe you guys don't know this. The hench, the transformation jutsu, as Madara and Hashirama watched Naruto carefully, taking in everything they saw. They didn't even know the standard academy jutsu. Apparently training was not the luxury that they had. They only got enough because they were next to become the next clan heads. As Naruto was looked at as sensei in his shinobi era, he learned that jutsus here were created through fail and error, and that resulted in death most of the time. He learned that whole family died out trying to do a jutsu, such as a simple replacement jutsu. There was nothing to teach, nothing to learn because it was still being created at the moment. Even the weapons that he was abusing in his time and just using like they were nothing were not easy to get here. Weapons in this world were crude and they were not fine design like the ones that he had. Madara and Hashirama also realized something, that they will be needed on the battlefield very soon, and they will have to kill each other brethren, because they will have to keep up this fake attitude that they still hate each other. But it was just because they weren't strong enough to do anything yet. It was something they want to talk about, and they were trying their best. They were trying their best to avoid that subject because they knew that they would have to go on the battlefield and kill senjus and kill uchihas. But after hearing what Naruto had to say, they want him to help them in those eras which they were great at in the future. Transform! As a poof of smoke, Hashirama was surrounded by smoke. As the smoke then cleared away to show the curvaceous figure. What Hashirama thought was a perfect female emerged from the smoke as she blew them a kiss. Needs more bones, said Naruto. Transform, said Madara, as his idea of the perfect female stood in front of Naruto now. Not bad, Madara, but you need a bit more appeal, said Naruto. Try throwing some submission in there, or some koi, said Naruto. Somewhere in the back of his mind he heard the Kyuubi laughing, because this was not really what it meant to be do. Transformation jutsu was to trick your enemy by transforming into someone else or something, but Naruto was using in this perfect way. Well, Eros would be proud. He was going to make a mark on history with this jutsu after all. Time skip. Madara and Hashirama found their day on the battlefield far sooner than they would like, as senjus and uchihas were clashing around them violently. Shinobis were sticking closer to their younger siblings to make sure no one took a lucky shot. As Hashirama saw Madara across the battlefield, as the both of them gave a small nod at each other. Before Naruto's arrival, they wouldn't have noticed each other's presence. They would have just been focused on keeping the ones who they care about alive. Father, said Hashirama as he went over to his father, dragging Tobirama with him. Whether he liked it or not, he did not have a choice in this. He was going to protect him no matter what. What brat? This is no time for games, his father said. His armor was splattered with the blood of both friends and enemies, as those friends and enemies clashed around them. While the death toll was the high at the moment, he was escalating a situation where it would be. Batsuma's eyes were wild, his breath shallow and quick. His body twitched, reacting to everything around him, every sound, every movement. Please let this work like Naruto promised it would, thought Hashirama. Call a retreat. I wish to use a jutsu I've been working on, but I don't want our force to get caught up in the radius. Can you guarantee the success? He could tell that his father was hesitant, but he was also desperate. As well as any jutsu. If you call in that retreat, make sure no one look back. It's a visual jutsu. Senju, take cover, Batsuma said, not even taking a moment to consider his son's words. For some reason, Justice once he was going to trust in his son. Go with father and stay with him, you understand that, Tobirama? Tobirama nodded as he went off with his father confused. Hashirama then spin around. Shadow Clone Jutsu, he said, as copies of clones spring around in all directions. The Uchiha started to smirk. They did have the Sharingan. Why would they fear illusion? Well, Hashirama mixed it with an entirely new jutsu. Transform! The Senjus were the winners of that battle. But neither side recorded because of reasons of shame. For the Uchihas, it was pretty obvious after you transform into that. Well, all of them were. And for the Senjus, they were the one that alone to do it in the first place. Although, it made them win the battle, as Madara and Hashirama laughed about that. As they will do for years to come. Time skip. This has gone on long enough. Where did that blasted boy go? Batsuma said as he looked at his younger son. Tobirama did not know the answer and he wasn't exactly looking forward to his father's next words. You will follow him, Tobirama, and find out what he's really doing. There's no doubt that he's getting stronger, but there is something else going on here. Understood? Yes. As Tobirama disappeared from the room to wait for the perfect opportunity to do what he was being ordered to. He did not agree with his father, but he didn't exactly not agree. Hashirama was up to something and Tobirama knew full well sometimes. His older brother had a tendency to forget what was good for him in the clan. Even if he didn't want to betray his brother just like this, it was necessary. He was just making sure after all. He didn't exactly think that his brother was doing anything truly suspicious. Meanwhile, Aizuna. His father called out. Yes, father? Madara has left the compound again. This time, I want you to find out what he's doing. Find out what he's hiding. Taijima said. Do you truly believe he's hiding something, father? I know that you idolize him, Aizuna, but this is something you will understand when you're older. For now, you must do as you're told. Yes, father, Aizuna said. Time skip. Man, guys, it's been ages. What have you guys been doing? Naruto said as the both of them walked in a clearing. Some of us had actual duties to perform, said Madara. And some of us have Uzumaki clan heads to meet because they're marrying clan head's daughter. Naruto grinned and ruffled Hashirama's hair. I still can't believe that you guys have get married so young. Not the Uchihas, they're too arrogant about their own abilities for that stuff, said Madara. It's not like I had a choice in this, and besides, I like Mito, he said. That day they were planning on discussing Konoha after their usual spars. Nothing really serious, mostly structural planning. They also want to iron out who they have to approach to get things done, since Naruto told them about the daimyo. As Naruto also want to make Konoha more self-efficient, so in times of peace there will be more income, and they won't have to rely on the daimyo too much. And they wouldn't have to rely solely on missions. Naruto froze as he said something, moving rather slow. Any more slower and he might have missed it. Two chakra similar to the two in front of him. Did either of you two tell your brothers to come here today? Naruto asked slowly. Madara looked at Hashirama with wide eyes, as Hashirama knew about Naruto's sensory abilities, and he was more well in depth about sensory than Madara. Tobirama was the regular sense of the two, and they had contact with Uzumaki. Hashirama agreed that Naruto's senses was the stronger one though, as their eyes widened as Naruto realized that they didn't tell their brothers, so this was a problem. Madara, that way. Hashirama, left, said Naruto. The both of them disappeared at bursts of speed, as they rushed to retrieve those who were precious to them, and the ones who could destroy them in this moment. Naruto kept what was going on by sensing, and he was surprised that Hashirama was the one that was met with the resistance. But Aizuna stopped the moment he was caught. There was a slight pause, and then they were heading over to where Naruto was. Hashirama had to subdue Tobirama and forcefully drag him in the clearing. Neither of them happy about it, as Naruto saw that Tobirama was gagged. A tense, awkward, and silence filled the air, growing thicker and thicker. So, said Naruto, Tobirama started to shout and scream something, but you couldn't hear it because of the gag. Hashirama removed it as Tobirama glared at his brother. Uchiha? What the hell is wrong with you, he asked. His name is Madara. Tobirama quickly cut him off. So you bloody know he's a Uchiha, but you're choosing to ignore that. Tobirama was beyond livid. All Naruto could think was, damn, this was your second Hokage. Let me explain, Tobirama, before you start crucifying me. Hashirama said in a low tone that made Tobirama shut his mouth instantly. Apparently, he did understand who was the oldest. Madara and I have the same goal. We want to end the fighting. At first, we didn't know that each other was the enemy. But we talk about this nonsense fighting over and over. And we talk about how to stop this pain and suffering. This is treason, brother. They will kill you. The Senju's right, brother. This is treason, Asuna said. But he was more quiet. Yes, but what Hashirama says is true. It's our aim to end all the fighting. As Madara looked to his brother and then Tobirama, we will bring together the two clans and create a place that is our own. We will grow in strength so vast that none will be able to question our position. Not even our own clans. Tobikon, was it not you that said that adults are idiots? Hashirama said as he removed Tobirama bounds, trusting that he would stay and listen. Tobirama stood slowly looking to his wrist as he thought things over. If they really want to bring an end to this senseless fighting, they need to sit down one another and start to choose. We are in this mess because shinobis keep on seeking vengeance. Words I lost faith in when Inema was killed. I thought it was a childish dream, and the time for a childish dream has long passed, said Tobirama at the time when you said those words, and I seriously started to consider them, because I had met Madara a few weeks prior to them. While I didn't know that he was a Uchiha, I knew that he was a shinobi. A shinobi from a different clan, and perhaps somewhere I could start. Somewhere we can start this peace to end the war. Hashirama said softly. But the Uchiha killed Inema. 5 of them hunted down one kid, and they slaughtered him without mercy, said Tobirama. And we have killed your brothers. Just as we have lost those who precious to us, so have they. The two you see in front of you, Madara and Aizuna, they're all they have left of each other, as you are all that I have left. As he placed his 2 hands on Tobirama's shoulder, looking right at him. Those Uchihas, they were adults. They believe in the old system, but listen to me. There is another way, a better way, but it will be up to us to change it. Naruto watched as the Uchiha said nothing neither of them, but they absorbed the words. They sensed thought that shinobis have nothing to look for other than death on the battlefield is wrong. And I hate it, said Hashirama. You, better than anyone in the clan, knew exactly how I feel about this. You see how father refused to listen to anything. So brother, help me change it. I told you I would find a way to end all of this, and this is it. So, I need your help. So please, help me. As he looked at his brother with a pleading gaze, Tobirama was silent as his eyes looked over. You, Uchiha. And what say you? As his tone changed back to his usual calm facade. I will tell you what I told your brother, long before I knew he was a Senju. Perhaps if I had known that time being our second meeting, I would have perhaps tried to kill him. Being a shinobi, death is always knocking at our door. And the only way to avoid that is to be upfront with everything. Be honest with the other side, perhaps even form an alliance with them. We have to break through the pride that all shinobis possess, trust in each other enough to break through and show what we truly mean. Each side protect the ones they love. So it's not hate that they feel, it's just their pride in the way. For myself, it's a need to protect my younger brother. I do not hate the Senjus, not really. Madara said, looking at Tobirama. As Naruto realized that Madara hadn't told Aizuna this yet because Aizuna was looking at his brother rather surprised. But how, said Aizuna suddenly. You start by standing firm and never wavering from your convictions. Right, Madara, said Hashirama. Yes, then you obtain unmatched strength and power because no one will ever follow a weakling, said Madara. We will just keep mastering jutsu upon jutsu. We will reach a point where the adults cannot ignore us anymore. We focus on our weak points, train every chance that we can get. Hashirama said a serious nod. And then when we become the leader of our clans, we bring them together and end all this fighting. We will live in a village where children don't have to fight in senseless wars, where there's a ranking system so no one will receive a mission above their skill. There will be a school for children, so they will be teach and train even more. As Madara nodded, this was the day as Naruto watched him, where their friendship would end in the original time, where their brothers would report to their fathers and end the friendship between them. But now, the friendship looked like it was growing. What of him, said Tobirama as he pointed towards Naruto. He is a proof that the whole thing is possible. Hashirama said that grin, like he was waiting for Naruto to be involved. Uzumaki Naruto, great to meet you, Naruto said. Clan name in your first introduction, Aizuna said. like this was foreign to him. He's a weird one, but he's not from here. He's from our village, the one we want to create. Idiot, you're not explaining this very well, said Madara. Hashirama fell into one of his depressed state. I'm sorry I'm so inadequate, Madara, he said. Naruto is from the future, where a dream to create a new world, without fighting is a reality. He grew up in a world that we envision, said Madara. Yeah, where I come from is common practice to introduce yourself with your full name. If you're lucky, people would fear your name, and there won't be any fights at all. My sensei was like that most of the time, said Naruto. I think I was really close to having people fear and respect me though. Too bad I'll never know. I had just mastered Sage Mode too. Anyways, where I come from is a village called Konoha, and it was founded by the Senjus and the Uchihas. How do we know we can trust you, said Aizuna, as he looked at Naruto. Because he speaks of things that cannot be lied about, to fabricate an entire life. One is bound to make mistakes, leave out details, said Madara. And I can't detect any signs of lying when he speaks. Also, I saw him arrive. He fell out of the sky and there's nothing to fall from out there, said Hashirama. And sometimes you just need to have a little faith. I know it's difficult to trust anyone because the life you have lived so long. But I know that you want this fight in the end. This can happen, and I think I speak for all three of us when we say we want you guys to do this with us, said Naruto. I do, Tobi-kun, said Hashirama. As do I, Aizuna, said Madara. What do we tell our clan heads? Tobirama said. It will not be easy to lie to them. Then you tell them half of the truth. We are training, said Madara with a smirk. I think this means you guys are on board, right? He said. Yes, I'll follow my brother. Wherever we feel he made to lead, said Aizuna. As will I. A childish dream might actually be the thing that we need to make this work, said Tobirama. Well, a sensei of mine once said, it's only a crazy idea if it doesn't work, otherwise, it's bloody brilliant, said Naruto. As far as I can remember, Aizuna was just as skilled as Madara in the same eras. You two focus together and grow in power by each other's side. Tobirama was a master at all water style techniques. He was practically a badass in Genjutsu. A century type just like my father was, perhaps the inspiration to my own father. But you already knew that he was really good at sensei. And I also read that he was good with space-time ninjutsu. We already know that he's very good with kinjutsu since he almost used that sword every time. And he's also really good with taijutsu. He also created a technique that is based on space-time ninjutsu. And there was another jutsu called Impure World Reincarnation. He was quite known for it, said Naruto. Edo Tensei? What does he do? Asked Hashirama. Basically, he uses Sakura's brain, a person back to life, but it's not true life, and the one that brought them back and controlled the person. It's a horrible jutsu, said Naruto, but I could understand why he made it. He classified it as a kinjutsu, so I think that he felt the same way. As Naruto looked at Tobirama, who was surprised at hearing about his skills. Tobirama sometime in his life acquired and mastered a blade called the Thunder God. Let me tell you, that blade's a bitch. It zaps you every time it touches you. Some jerk stole it from the leaf though, before defecting. My teammate Sasuke and I, we ended up destroying it when we were genin. Sorry about that. It was something to see it in action though. The idiot that stole it couldn't really use it. While it might have been you and Madara that founded Konoha, he was the one to really get it going, said Naruto. He did the organization system, stuff like the academy and Anvu, the tuning exams and the police force. Yeah, I can just imagine that, said Hashirama. He was the one that actually inspired the idea for Konoha. So this is real, said Tobirama. You're really from the future. Yes, Naruto said. I think I need to sit down, he said. As Hashirama laughed. Aizuna, are you ready for this? Are you ready to work harder than what you ever had before? Madara asked Aizuna very quietly. Yes, brother, I will help you to make your dream a reality. Aizuna smiled as Madara finally relaxed. As Naruto watched him, he started to see why Sasuke was so devastated about his own brother. There was a bond between them that no one will ever understand. Time skip. As Tobirama was in front of his father. What do you have to report? Hashirama, in my observations, was not doing anything that could be seen harmful to the clan. He was, as he said, training. He's working on a technique, but it seemed a long way off from completion. I see. You may leave now. Tobirama got up and walked towards the door, but he paused before he could exit. Father, I will be joining Hashirama from now on. Then he left, smirking at a slight startled jump in his father. It was reassuring to think that one day he would be stronger than man who sent his own sons to die in battle. It felt good to know that they were going to change his twisted existence, and it was going to be better for everyone. Meanwhile, Aizuna, what have you learned? There's nothing of concern, father. He trained, as he said he does. I also wish to accompany him, father. Do as you wish, so long as you do not endanger this clan. As he simply walked away, he was already too busy. and he was confident in Aizuna's obedience, so he wouldn't even detect our search for any lie. Time skip. The Uzumakis are coming down weak. I expect the both of you to be presentable and present. Batsuma stated to the two Senju. As he did not look at the both of them, he still had a sinking feeling that the both of them are doing something out there. But at the moment he was not going to focus on that, but he was still in the back of his mind. The war was coming to a new time high, and things were getting more heated, and he didn't want to send the both of them out there right now at the moment because he already lost one other son to this battle already that was cut down by 5 Uchihas. So he was reluctant on sending his own 2 sons out there that were left. Time skip. Madara, Aizuna, get your armor on. Those blasted Senjus are attacking again. Neither asked to attack first, they didn't linger. As they started to put on their armor, they guessed as much as they would be called. They seen their clansmen growing more and more frantic. It had only been a matter of time as they placed on their crimson armor, as they looked at each other before exiting the room. This was only an event that served them more to realize what they was fighting to achieve, peace in this world. Time skip. Hashirama spin in the air, the heel of his feet smashing into the back of Uchiha's head as he knocked him away, knocking him out. As he chose not to kill the Uchiha, as he saw the fleeting look from Madara a few distance away. Tobirama nodded as both of them stood back to back. Hashirama's heart twisted in his chest when he saw the clan head bark something to Madara before shoving him towards Hashirama. Aizuna not far behind. The 4 of them came upon each other, just looked at each other as they find a way not to, well, do it in a way to show that they weren't friendlies. As no one was willing to make the first move though. Hashirama looked at Madara as the 2 of them nodded in understanding. As they jumped at each other, kunai clashed against kunai, as Aizuna clashed with Tobirama as they were using katanas. Finish the Uchiha brat once and for all, Hashirama, Batsuma said, but Hashirama ignored his father. Show me what all that training has done. Madara, do not disgrace your clan or your stand as the Uchiha heir. Cut down that boy and be done with it. His father shouted out just as viciously. Keep your foul speech to yourself, Uchiha. Batsuma says he clashed with Madara's father. Hashirama felt it in his stomach. This battle was different from the others. The tension, the twisting in his stomach, it felt strange. The both of them snapped their eyes to their brothers as their father threw kunai at each other child. Aizuna, as Madara tossed the kunai that he was fighting with. Tobi, as Hashirama tossed his kunai as well. The fathers were growling in anger that they failed. We have to find a way to end this, Madara. Hashirama whispered. I know, said Madara as he activated Sharingan. How's that Mokuton of yours coming along? Not well, I haven't figured out the right ratio yet. As they were talking, suddenly, their world exploded in bright light and the earth exploded. Meanwhile, Naruto was worried. He sensed some rising tension from both clans. It even reached him. Furthermore, none of the others came to see him. Something major was happening. As Naruto seeked out the fox into his mind, Uzumaki brat, he said, what's happening? Can you sense anything? They're fighting. It's the weird tear of the war, clan state, said Kurama. Very nonchalant. It seemed to be a very intense battle this time. Oh no, said Naruto, as he had to do something. He had to find a way to end that battle. He had to. The group. The only way he could find a way to end that battle right now is to make them get a greater enemy. Senjutsu was extremely difficult for the Uchihas to see through, Madara informed him. It was potent bright and made the person that was using the Sharingan hazy when they looked at it. As Naruto focused and draw in nature energy, as he felt his senses start to spread even more. Kurama was right, the battle was intense. He had to hurry. As he dashed through the trees, already scanning for the chakra that he sought out. He knew from Hashirama that the Sage mode was no longer resembling the one that he used before, and could no longer summon toads. Perhaps it was because no one had the toad contract, or ever used it before. But all that was irrelevant, he had an interest to make. So when he was close up, he formed a giant Rasengan. As he left the clone behind just in case, as he jumped high in the air and in Sage mode that was really high. As he fall down and smashed it into the ground. That was a light and the earth being torn apart that Hashirama and Madara saw. All of them were rocked and unbalanced as they stopped fighting. As the earth showered up and came raining back down on everyone. Every ninjas had their entire focus on who made such a destructive entrance. As Naruto stood in the crater brushing the dust of the cloak he placed on himself, as he had a hood onto the cloak. Only thing Madara saw was a burning bright haze with his Sharingan, so he deactivated his dojutsu. As he nudged Aizuna to do the same. Naruto? He whispered. As Hashirama saw him as well. Who are you? State your identity. Batsuma said, looking down into the crater with a bit of fear after seeing what this person just did. No, I thought it was standard protocol to leave. A ninja name unknown. said Naruto as he looked towards Batsuma. Your identity became our business when you interrupted our affairs. Taijuma stated, your affairs? But you see, I beg to differ. I live around these parts. You're trespassing on my land, Naruto said. This is no man's land. It's a part where all clan disputes are fought on, Hashirama said, to keep up appearance. Didn't you hear me claiming that it's mine, boy? It's my suggestion that you all leave. Go home, nurse your wounds, or face my wrath. I can guarantee you, none of you here can even match my strength. Not even those that possess the Sharingan. Both clan heads looked towards each other, before snapping their heads away in disgust. They had no choice and they knew it. Anyone could claim no man's land. Clans had to fight, but they'd rather not do it on their own lands. But they had to move back. They would continue their fight another day, but they had to gather information on this unknown shinobi. As they retreated, time skip, it was a whole week before the four of them returned. When they did, they were looking at Naruto differently. He didn't really tell them, well, the full extent of his skills, but he didn't really hide anything from them that much, right? As Naruto sensed it, when he was in Sage mode, none of them on the battlefield could beat him. There was no such thing as Jinchuriki, so Naruto was even miles above everyone else. Until at this cover, he hadn't realized what kind of situation he found himself in. He was actually the strongest one here. He had the power to make everyone obey him. It was a heavy feeling, almost overwhelming. But seeing the other four now, he calmed himself. That wasn't the right thing to do. He had to do this the right way. That, I guess, is some of the power of Senjutsu. Why didn't you tell us about your power? Said Madara. You never asked, and besides, I didn't think that it was that important, since I wasn't going to be fighting. Also, where I come from, my power isn't all that amazing. I didn't actually realize I was so far above you guys. To me, you're still the founders of Konoha, the unbeatable Senju and Uchiha. You guys are legends to me, sure, where I came from, I had power. But there was others who have equal power if not even more. Like I said, you four will become so powerful. You'll be able to build a village and no one will be able to stop you. Do you really think that other clans will just sit by and watch you put an end to the things that they have known their entire life? What I did, you guys will be more powerful than that. What was that jutsu you used, Aizen asked, before either Madara or Hashirama could reply. What, the Rasengan? Younger Uchiha nodded. It's a jutsu that my dad created. It doesn't have any hand signs and is basically pure chakra manipulation. It's an awesome jutsu. I think you'll be rather well known for it, said Hashirama. Naruto laughed nervously at a strange praise. Well, that was just one version of it. Wait until you see my others. They get pretty destructive. At this casual tone, the four of them sweat dropped and they chuckled nervously. Just how powerful was he? And he was so humble above it all. He didn't even realize where he was. So you said that we will be more powerful than you, said Madara. Yes, said Naruto. But remember, there are those who try to darken your vision. You have to be prepared for that. Therefore, we need to keep training and keep on training. My sensei once told me when I was a genin. On my first year mission, there are people out there younger than I was. But they're more powerful than him. He was pretty more powerful himself, so it was hard to believe him. As he smiled sadly at the mention of his sensei, no matter how much he tried to hide it, he missed them all. He missed the life that he had. But he wouldn't leave them not now. He wouldn't go back unless they forced him to. Well, they didn't know how he got here in the first place. Alright then, so let's get training, said Tobirama. Time skip, 3 months passed since that day when Aizuna and Tobirama came to know the truth. They were growing in leap and bounds, but they would need another's help to go farther. It had been nearly 5 months since Naruto arrived here, and he learned that he had no affinity for fire or lightning whatsoever. He didn't test his water or earth yet, but he had the affinity for them, just a bit to move on. They didn't even test their yin or yang yet, but the Kyuubi told him that he had yang, a lot of it. Well, the Kyuubi had, and it was inside of Naruto. The others have come to accept what Naruto told them about their strengths, as they try to reach that. But Tobirama, Naruto found out was extremely fast. It got Naruto thinking about his father. It was safe to think that the Second Hokage's skills had passed down. Was it possible that his father saw Second Hokage as a role model, as he saw some things that Minato had done to trademark Tobirama, like the Sentry ability and no speed? As he wondered just what Tobirama created and what his father eliminated, he didn't know what his father element was either. As he wondered who created the clone jutsu, the hench, or even the replacement jutsu. It was impossible to say now because Naruto was the one that was teaching them now. The real clone though was a bit out of their reach, and most they could create was 5, but 5 was still way better than most of the ninjas back in his time. It helped with their training though, the 5 that they made. Naruto taught them all that he could, but he wasn't very well versed in areas. His help mostly started a few jutsus, such as the academy jutsus. Go on. He didn't have a vast amount of jutsus, and since he was going to teach him the Rasengan, his knowledge was cut down. It meant only one thing soon. they wouldn't be coming here anymore. Soon, they're gonna get trained under someone else. Soon, they will only meet on the battlefield, waiting for the right time to end it all. But where did that leave Naruto? At the moment, Mito is coming tomorrow, Hashirama said, as he was currently with Naruto. As Hashirama had a grin on his face, it has been growing wider and wider every time he talked about Mito. They didn't see each other often because traveling was dangerous, but Hashirama was still fond of her a lot. As Naruto smiled warmly, he was happy for the boy, and he loved seeing so excited. In this state of war and death, it was rare. As Naruto accompanied the Senjus and Uchihas on their missions, and he learned how brutal it was. He learned what it truly meant to be a shinobi, and he was shocked to see the change that Hashirama and Madara brought upon the world. It was 10 times, maybe 100 different from his timeline. Konoha was a place that he loved with all of his heart. It was better, far better than this world that they currently live in right now. As Naruto understand why Hashirama would go as far to kill Madara to protect Konoha. Time skip. Hashirama sent Mito with a bow. She was standing with her father. Her mother wasn't here at the moment, as she tried to be formal. But he was happy. It meant that he could talk to Mito alone, while her father discussed clan affairs. This was his 4th time seeing her, and he was rather excited about it. Lady Mito, he said the bow. As he watched his father greeted hers. Tobirama had a teasing smirk on his face, as he ignored him. I trust all has been going well for you, said Mito, making polite comments. Yes, quite, my training has been fruitful. I am glad, said Mito. I hope your missions go well also. Hashirama wanted to tear his hair out. He wanted to talk normal, as he wished that his father would just go in the meeting room with her father already. By the time they finally managed to get away. Man, that ninja can talk, said Hashirama. A small chuckle, alerting that Tobirama had followed as well. You seem happier, Tobirama-kun. It's in your chakra. More at peace, said Mito. But the two chakra get rather nervous. Ah, so what making you happy? It's a secret, she said. One that should not be known. Is it dangerous? No, just not to be known, not yet, said Hashirama. But, said Tobirama, as he turned his gaze to Hashirama, as Mito was amazed how they could talk to each other without even saying a word. Yeah, it could work, Hashirama said. As he turned to Mito, tell me a bit more about the Wonder in Uzumaki Fraction, please. The Wonder in Uzumaki Fraction? Well, it's a group of Uzumakis that don't stay with the rest of the clan, choosing to explore the elemental nations instead. They learned more about sealing, jutsu. Sometimes they don't even come back for years. So it wouldn't be uncommon to meet a Uzumaki outside the clan, Tobirama asked carefully. Not really. Does this have to do with their secret? She asked. Yes, it does, said Hashirama. You know a Wonder in Uzumaki? She asked, as her eyes were sparkling with excitement. Not much of a Uzumaki if you ask me. He doesn't know anything about sealing, said Tobirama. Mito gasped. Does not know sealing? No, I just have to meet him, she said. Oh, and you're gonna love this one. He's blonde, Hashirama said. Blonde? And untrained. Blonde Uzumaki. You're the best fiancé ever. I love the presents you give me, she said, as she rushed forward and hugged him. As Tobirama thought about it, Naruto would need to go somewhere soon, and this was the foundation. Placing him with the clan would do him a favor. And also the skills that he could learn from the Uzumakis. He couldn't learn them anywhere else. From Naruto's own words, this was not something he get in his own time either. They have been discussing this for a long time now, because it will be 3 clans coming together to create a perfect bond, and not just 2. They will have the seal and expertise, building a perfect defense, like no other clan or village, and save the Uzumakis from their bloody fate. Since Mito was a clan head daughter and was now married to the Senju clan, there was a need for a new heir. If things went as well as they thought, Naruto would become that new heir and lead the Uzumakis into Konoha. They felt like it was a chance too good to pass up. The Uzumaki were weird. They wouldn't ask too many questions. But it would pass on good though. But they'll have to get Mito involved first. She was a daughter of a clan head, and his only weakness. She asked and she was given. And she never asked often though, so that made it all more easier. The clan head would be delighted to give his darling baby girl whatever she wanted, because she was independent, trying not to ask if she could help it. The Uzumaki head was also getting up there in his years, even though he was an Uzumaki and he lived long. He left settling down for the last minute. That is why he only had the one daughter. He won't be able to last long either, in this worn-torn state, so it'd be best if they place Naruto in their clan sooner than later. As Tobirama watched, as Mito was talking about everything she could teach his Naruto. As Tobirama was happy, because they saw the loneliness inside Naruto's eyes. He hid it well, but they could still see it most of the time. So tell me more about this blonde Uzumaki, said Mito. Well, Hashirama says he wasn't going to tell her about the future thing. He's older than me, and he's really good at sensing. I mean really good. As he started going into explanation, telling Mito. Time skip. Naruto perked up. Tobirama was coming alone and that never happened before. As Naruto was balancing on his hands, trying to collect nature energy from all positions. He was also learning how to enter stage mode faster. It would really help in all situations. As he looked over at Tobirama, "What's up, Tobikon?" he said. As the boy eyebrow twitched, "Don't call me that. And Hashirama is with me too," he said. As Naruto smiled, was glad that the older Senju was spending time with his wife. Well, his soon-to-be wife. "So what brings you here? Want to spar?" "No, not right now. Perhaps a little later. I actually came here to tell you about something me and Hashirama has been discussing for some time now." As Naruto could sense the seriousness in the boy's chakra. Tobirama was already serious, but he was more serious today. The Uzumakis are very close to the Senju clan, almost like extended families. "You already know this," said Tobirama. "Yes," said Naruto. That aside, for the moment, all five of us has come to the same realization, even though we haven't discussed it exactly, that we're gonna have to split up soon and seek training elsewhere, Naruto said, as Tobirama nodded. As such, Madara and Aizuna would receive training from their clan, and me and my brother as well from our clan. But your clan, the Uzumakis, were not something you ever experienced. Hashirama and I got to thinking, perhaps there was a way to get to a clan of your own, somewhere you can go until Konoha is built. I imagine the destruction of the Uzumaki clan, a lot of their records were destroyed as well." Naruto merely nodded. There wasn't much he could say about the Uzumakis, and he felt ashamed about that. He was, after all, his only surviving members. Well, in his time. Thought as much. Well, in the Uzumakis, they're a group of shinobis, and non-shinobi alike, who travel the elemental nations under no one control but their own. They seek new things, new sealing methods, new jutsu. It isn't always specific, but the Uzumakis are a clan not like much others. They're called the Wandering Factions. Years can go by before a group of them will check back with the clan head. They all have a long lifespan, so their timing is, well, work for them. How does this apply to me, Naruto asked. To the Uzumakis family, they mean everything. To them, they're brothers and sisters, not merely a clan. Your chakra will gain you access. They will accept you without much questioning. We already laid the foundations. All that's left now is the introduction. As Naruto was surprised by that. "When?" he said. "The Uzumakis? To go and train with the Uzumakis. That would be awesome." Madara and Aizuna said to Tobirama. "We'll have to say goodbye to them first. They already know this is coming, this separation. We could all feel it," said Tobirama. "I guess we could, and we didn't need sensory abilities to do that either," said Naruto, as he looked up in the sky. "It's sad to think that next time we see each other, it's as enemies on the battlefield." "Only until we're all the clan heads of our families," Tobirama said. "I mean, the Uzumakis are in need of an heir, and the fact that one hasn't been announced yet means that Mito father is still looking for someone to impress him. You have that knack for shocking the hell out of people. I bet if you did that meditation thing that you do, that they will worship you like a living god. The Uzumakis can't comprehend sitting for so long. It's not in their nature, which made me surprised that you can do it." "Huh. It will be hell before they even learn that ability that you have," Tobirama said that smirk. That made Naruto laugh. Time skip. The place is a bit silent before Naruto extended his hand. "Stay safe, kick ass, and be safe," he said with a grin. Madara blinked before a smile came on his lips. "Huh, and to think that brat that tried to take over your world," said the Kyuubi. "Shut up, fuzzball," Naruto said to Kurama as he shook Madara's hand. He and Kurama got to the point where they spoke outside the mindscape while in their mind. "Till the moment we're ready," said Madara. Its meaning all too clear. Till the moment they were ready to build Konoha. As the moment they let go, they disappear using their newly learned Sanshin. Something that Naruto did not even know, as he was never taught that jutsu before. Hashirama fell into a state of depression, as Tobirama ignored him. As Naruto started to follow the both of them, he was going to meet the Senju clan today, and he was really nervous. He fiddled with the bag that had the amount of things that he managed to gain in this world, among them being his original clothing, as he now wears something a little less orange, but something more standard for the time period that he was in, but he refused to give up the shoes. He still had the First Hokage necklace pieces, he still had his kunais, and the wooden cylinder that he found. It was created by Hashirama when you look at it closely, and it had a seal that had a complex design in it. He still didn't know what exactly it was, and he also had the book that Ursanin gave him, the one that gave him his name. As he walked along the ground, the anticipation of meeting both Senju and Uzumakis made him felt unbearable. Batsuma, a man who sent children to their deaths. Not that he had any choice, well, Naruto could not see past that fact, they were still children. Then there was the Uzumakis, a clan that he was a part of, but knew nothing about. As he gulped, and he will have to meet the two clan heads today. He took a breath as he made his way. But guys, to be in steps right here, if you want the next part of this, what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform, and stay in tune for what if Naruto was trained by all the greats at a young age, guys. And also, what if Naruto was the greatest puppeteer? Stay tuned for that as well, guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both animaking and animaking too, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the animaking family. And thank you for all of your help and support. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.